All right, everyone, here's your next lesson for today. You're due now. Remember, we're going to start on page 18. This time we are going to complete this problem here on the right. Let's go ahead and get started. So the question says, who is right? The ordered pair 3, 7 satisfies the equation y equals 2.5x. Is Cassie correct by saying that it is false, or is Jose correct by saying that it is true? I'm going to go ahead and give you about a minute to decide. Oh, not 10 minutes. Sorry. Let's do 45 seconds, actually. You can decide quick on this one. 45 seconds and we'll chat. All right, let's go ahead and chat. So just like what we did in the last lesson, what we need to do is we need to take our x value and substitute it for x, and our y value and substitute it for y. So what this means is we'd have 7 equals 2.5 times 3. And when you solve 2.5 times 3, you would get 7.5. Now, does 7... All right, sorry, my husband's calling about my son. Okay, sorry about that. My husband was just calling about my son in the hospital. So he is in surgery now. So now we just have to wait it out and he'll be just fine. So at this point, what we discovered is 7 does not equal 7.5, which means that Cassie is correct by saying false. So, sorry, here comes the text message train. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase that, make sure it gets into your workbook. And now we are on page 24 in your workbook. Page 24, remember we're starting in the center and then we're moving to the right. So let's go ahead and get started. Page 24, what we have is we have the equation y equals 3x represents the relationship between yards of fabric and the number of cushions that Alan can make. How many yards of fabric does Alan need to make 4 cushions? So what that means is what is this mystery number here? Hopefully, as you're looking at this, you're looking for your multiplicative relationship going left to right. And hopefully what you're seeing, especially in the second row here, is that we have times 3. So 4 times 3 equals 12. So Alan needs 12 yards of fabric to make 4 cushions. Copy that into your workbook. Pause the video if you need to, please. All right, we are now on the third problem. A graphic designer uses the equation y equals 0.5x to represent the relationship between the height and width of photos to recreate them on magazine pages. What are some ordered pairs that are solutions to the equation? So first of all, what we need to look at is they are giving us this information here. Okay, when x equals 1 and we're using this equation, what does that mean? That means we're substituting 1 in for x. So we have 0.5 times our x value, which is 1. Okay, 0.5 times 1 equals 0.5. And if I check my graph over here, my x value is 1. So that means I go over 1, up 0.5. When my x value is 1, I go up to 0.5. When my x value is 0 on this graph, hopefully you're noticing that the y value is also 0. And when my x value is 3 on this graph, if we head on up, we're noticing that our y value is 1.5. Now this last part here is for us to pick our own x value. So the easiest thing that I would suggest is if you look here, we have 1, 2, and 3. We already have 0, 1, and 3, so maybe let's pick 2. That's the number they haven't picked, and it's a nice whole number instead of a decimal. If I take 2 and I substitute it into this problem, I have 0.5 times 2, and 0.5 times 2, hopefully you understand that that would be 1. So our solution here, our x value is 2, and our answer to the problem is 1. Now I am going to be a stickler here, you guys. We do need to make sure that our final solution is in parentheses. Otherwise, it is just a list of numbers. Please pause the video and copy this into your workbook if you need to do that. All right, the last thing I need to tell you guys is page 25. You're responsible for completing the entire page. On the exit ticket, what your job is to find and fix the mistakes. If it's easier for you to rewrite the problem and make sure that it's correct on the side, that's totally cool with me. If you want to cross stuff off and just write the correct answer, that's also cool with me. Your job, though, is to complete this entire workbook page, submit it to Schoology, and then please make sure your digital time gets completed for the week. Have a great weekend, you guys. We'll see you next week.